Ladies and gentlemen, our fireside chat is titled as Incorporating Technologies like AI chatbots to improve the customer journey and the engagement. Will it really make or break the cycle? We have some seasoned minds joining us who would answer the questions perhaps. And with that, allow me to please warmly welcome onto the virtual stage Mr. Sanjay Singhal, the Chief Operating Officer, Dairy and Beverages from IDC. Let's also welcome with a good round of cheer. Let's welcome Naveen Kumar, the Director, Customer Care, Philips Domestic Appliances, India. Well, this fireside chat would be chaired by Mini Gupta, the cybersecurity partner, EY India. Well, Mini, it's all over to you with that.
Thanks, Shikha. So good afternoon, everyone. We've been having a great session till now, and of course, everybody's talking about the importance and of course, how imperative it is to have the various customer experience enhancing technologies and processes. With that, of course, we have veterans from the industry who better than them to talk about how this has been helping and what is it that one needs to really look out for when adopting such newer technologies. So with that, I'll probably pose my first question to Naveen. AI is no longer a value add, but an essential component of every digital as well as physical program now. I mean, if you look at physical stores as well, AI along with say computer graphic imaging can create a virtual like assistant to help in consumer selection. On the digital or virtual world, of course, we've seen how the AI can help in selecting various commodities. It could be a spectacle that suits me. It could be a clothing that suits me. All of it as if I was doing it physically in a physical store, now being possible virtually. And of course, AI chatbots have been used. In fact, in the last year, close to 70% of consumers worldwide have used chatbots using AI and chatbots to help improve customer experience and engagement. And how are you leveraging the same within your organization?
Thank you, Ming. I think you have asked or you have touched a very important point, and the way that the world is changing and it is a customer need is also changing rapidly. And if you see in till 2019, there was a set of expectation from the consumer, but after the pandemic, the things have changed drastically. A customer is looking more a solution from the digital platform, and for the running the digital platform and giving a superlative experience to consumer, you require a strong AI, you require a strong bot, and I believe that this artificial intelligence and the bot is going to be the future. It can have enormous, things you can provide and support to consumer and enhance the experience. Whether you talk about a sales experience or buying experience, or support experience. So this is, I believe, strongly believe that this is going to be a future, and it is going to further evolve. Coming to my experience and our company experience, so we have used the bot with the slight experience of AI, where that we have used for the product category, which was highly technical technology involved, and we found a very good experience of consumer when we talk about a customer satisfaction or NPS score, and that was really encouraging for us to think for the other product category also.
That's interesting. I mean, being able to use not just for engagement, but also being able to assess consumer satisfaction using this. Sanjay, I'll move on to you, from your perspective, within your organizations, how are AI chatbots redefining customer engagement?
Sure. So good afternoon, everyone. And it's interesting because Mr. Naveen comes from Philips, and obviously the put down value of a Philips product will be like at least 100, maybe 1,000 times my 5 rupee biscuit or a 20 rupee packet of milk. And the context changes a lot. So because, when you are selling a consumer a 5 rupee biscuit or a noodle or an atta or a milk packet or a juice, I mean, the customer doesn't have a customer service query. You need to engage the customer to either create a repeat or create a differentiator for your brand or create shareability using tools of digital like AI. So I'll give one example to demonstrate how we try to do that. I mean, obviously, Ashirwad Atta is a large brand for us. So in the case of Atta, it is basically engaging mothers in terms of basically recipes and trying to create those recipes around how you can make a pizza out of an atta, or how you can make, for example, a wonderful lunch for your kid, for example. But the one which I think was very interesting for us was taking a category like milk, which is, India buys pouch milk, all of us. And when my team was here, which is, you could call milk is the biggest commodity, right? India is the largest milk growing country or milk producing country in the world. And how do you really differentiate in that versus competition and bring out a competitively, let's say, important attribute to the consumer? So what they did is, because all of us are consumers of a categories like a milk, and trust is milk is very, very important. Typically, you would say that there is something which is mixed in the milk, and you not trust the brand or the vendor or whatever. So what we did is that we took the entire chatbot experience. We said, let's make it the center of not a communication, but let's make it the center of the proposition. So what happens now in Calcutta is that we sell under Ashirwad a brand of pouch milk. And there the customer is able to use a chatbot to actually download in the morning when she's going out to the market the quality report card, the quality report of that pouch of milk, which has been packed some 4 hours earlier in our factories in Calcutta or Bay. So what it does is that it gives assurance to the customer, and those parameters are customer parameters in terms of what you would as a mother look for in terms of the quality of the milk, in terms of, let's say, antibiotics, in terms of fertilizers, in terms of chemicals, in terms of fat content, in terms of water content, in terms of packing time, in terms of shelf life, etc. So we are able to give on a live, it's the only brand right now which is giving a quality report for that unique packet of milk within 3 hours of packaging, and is able to give a quality assurance to the customer. So this is a very simple and a very different use of a chatbot. Chatbot also allows you to, it's in different languages, because obviously it has to be Hindi, English and Bengali, for example, from a Calcutta perspective. But I think this was interesting because yes, there are customer service chatbots, but when I look at from a FMCG angle, the role is very, very different. It is to create engagement, it is to create a value proposition, it is to give knowledge and not solve a credit card issue, for example, for a customer.
No, that's brilliant. In fact, it's not just a customer complaint or interaction, but it's, like you said, how do you add value using this various medium and platform? And now as we talk of chatbots, of course, while they service on these lines, Naveen, maybe to you, simple queries to complex queries is what comes on chatbots. And as the queries get complicated, obviously the rules and the logics also have to, evolve on these mediums. So how do you customize the chatbot to maybe resolve complex customer interactions? And is there a way of also further customizing based on your audience type? So the genre of audience, whether it is a millennial or a Gen X, Gen Y, or a baby boomer, or like, Sanjay said, a mother versus, someone else. So how do you adopt to this?
Mini, this is a very interesting space. And you can follow a couple of methods, and the easiest method, what you can follow that, if you are collecting a feedback after the bot experience, whether it is a CSAT or NPS, and where you are giving a facility or to consumer to write. So those feedbacks are very, very important and very critical, and that's help for continuous improvement. So that you are over a period, you can customize and you can enhance the knowledge base. Not only that, as you talked about the various demographic, Gen X, Gen Y, and baby boomers. So that also, you can customize your script based on like what you kind of language or script you want to use for, say, youngster versus baby boomers, because might be you may using a emoji for, say, one set of consumer and not a very serious of conversation, or different types of age group of demographic you are using a different. And as same is true in the regional concept also. India is so complex. It is not that what we are using here in north can be used the same way in, say, south. So that data pattern matching and data analytics are very important in this field to improve further.
Very well said, Naveen. I mean, how do you analyze data to cater to the different genres and, of course, customize? So Sanjay, maybe, while we have chatbots, we also have these messaging platforms like WhatsApp for Business, which allow customers to not only connect to customer support, but enable the entire order to cash process. So how do you perceive this trend, and can it match a customer's experience expectations?
Yeah, so I'm saying that basically the next level, I guess, is transaction. Because obviously one of the things that is the holy grail of FMCG business marketing is that can I get a customer to not only buy me once, because it is very interesting that be it the biggest brands in FMCG in any category of foods or personal care, consumers are not loyal. A consumer would go between, depending on the category, between 2 to 5 or 6 brands. I mean, 2 brands maybe for milk or atta, and definitely 6 or 7 brands for, let's say, a potato snack, for example, or a confectionery, for example. So how do you drive repeat purchase and lifetime value of a customer is very, very important. And I think that if you're able to use a WhatsApp or a chatbot for transactions, that could be very important. So for example, during the COVID, and I know that our audience has got by now sick of hearing the COVID things, but I'm saying in COVID, one of the things we did in ITC, because we operate across multiple categories in foods and personal care and paper, etc., with classmates, we started something called a ITC e-store, where the consumer can go and buy and get delivered to his or her house the range of ITC products. And we started also piloting a WhatsApp equivalent of that. The customer can start buying online or buying through a WhatsApp. So these are the opportunities, I think, which can be there, taking it beyond experience and service into actually a transaction. Then hopefully we will arrive at something which is a holy grail, which we are all talking about today. Flipkart has started something. This is basically a social commerce. So can we use that as the next level? Because ultimately we as Indians with joint families are always about social commerce. So can that be taken? I think there is some good work I've seen. Flipkart is doing that. I don't know if Flipkart is there, but I think that's the next level, I would say.
Absolutely, and this obviously enhances my engagement with the customer further. And Sanjay, while we're with you, while we're talking about all the benefits, are there any risks that you perceive while you're using these newer technologies, either cyber, data privacy, or any other risks that you perceive with the usage of such technologies?
Yeah, so I'm saying that firstly, I think obviously there are more constraints and risks when you're dealing with a financial service. Because of the regulatory and let's say you have certain walls looking it up. In FMCG, I mean, ultimately, again, I'll go back to what I started. I'm selling a 5 rupee biscuit for a 20 rupee juice. So, I mean, yes, the biggest thing is you need to take customer, let's say, approval for using and storing his or her data. And that is very important from our perspective, because we all know that how much of the data authenticity or data correctness is there. It has taken us years to just clean up and dedupe or get all the critical data in place for a few million consumers for us, and to create that data lake, for example. So I think the problem may not be from FMCG in terms of the data's, let's say, security, as much as for getting consumer okay for using the data for remarketing or for reaching out. I think that is the big problem.
Sure. And Naveen, what's your perspective on this? What do you believe are some of the risks associated?
You are right that the data security is one major, threat or concern, and no company would like to have a compromise on the data. However, I believe that with the current way of working, or the way that we are working, so there are, various ways also you can protect the customer data. And that's most of the time that the data loss or the hack happens during the transmission. However, you can have a safety measures at all the points, whether machine level, transmission level, as well as a data store point also. So you can have an encryption of data. You can have follow the lot of compliance. If you follow religiously those compliance, whether like, India data compliance, GDPR, PCI. So that also help to ensure that the data is secure, and the broader governance on that field, third-party audits, penetration test. So all those things, security measures, I believe that yes, if you follow all, then you can take care of that risk or mitigate those risks.
Sure. Obviously, with the large volume of data, it becomes imperative, one, to see what's the regulatory frame that we're operating in. Second, of course, like Sanjay said, have we taken the consent? Have we protected the integrity of data more than anything else? And like you mentioned, Naveen, do we have the security or data protection measures in place? Because end of the day, that's the data you would be analyzing and relying on. So, one final question to both of you now, crystal ball gazing. What next in the field of enhanced customer experience and engagement? What new technologies, what new trends do you perceive or would like to see? Sanjay, maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm saying that basically from a FMCG marketing perspective, I mean, this is the holy grail of moving from one-to-many TV communication and one-to-many 40 million outlet distribution enablement, one-to-one communication, one-to-one feedback, one-to-one discussion, and one-to-one distribution. And coming future gazing, it could probably go to one-to-one customization. So, for example, can I customize a product to your nutrition needs? Can I customize a communication to your own, from a food's perspective, your own health requirements, your food tastes, your, let us say, your own, various requirements that you have from a food's perspective? Can I customize the packaging to your usage? I mean, you may use a packet of atta every day if you are a North Indian, but you use it over a month if you are a South Indian, for example. So that customization could be very, very interesting. And with manufacturing technology, because, obviously we are all mass manufacturers, but with manufacturing technology, printing technology moving, I think that there are startups which are doing that. But I think that is one part to it. Of course, the communication, obviously it's a one-to-one communication and also getting feedback. Because the only feedback we as, unlike I'm sure the gentleman from Philips, I mean, if a fridge breaks down, a TV breaks down, sir, consumer will call up 10 times. But the consumer will call me only one person consumer will call if they don't like the taste of a biscuit. If the biscuit is going, let's say, broken. So I think also the power of co-creation with the consumer is going to go up. So I think co-creation and customization are two things.
Brilliant point, Sanjay. Naveen, your perspective?
See that since I am dealing more on the consumer, and that, as Sanjay mentioned, that we when you use the hardware, so which you may require a service as well as the buying experience is also different. So in the future, I believe the conversational intelligence will play an important role, like humanoid, where that a person bot or a video bot or that is also there, but that will evolve further. You have a person in front of you who can sense, who can understand your sentiments, understand your feeling, and accordingly, based on the AI, can treat you as a buddy. So you will be more comfortable, like as if you are talking to a human being. Since we all human beings more comfortable to talk to another human being. So if that with the machine with a human heart, if start dealing with you, I think you will be more comfortable, and I feel that is going to be the future state.
Super. I think we've had wonderful perspectives, right, from current usage of these technologies for enhancing customer experience to actually using it in transactions. And now, of course, looking at how do we take it maybe from a one-to-one perspective, helping us customize. And like we said, we've been digitizing manual work. Now it's about saying humanizing the digital and technology. So thank you so much for your perspective, Sanjay and Naveen. It was wonderful interacting with you.
Thank you.
Mr. Singhal, Mr. Kumar, thank you very much for your perspectives on incorporating technologies and many, as you said, the humanizing effect and, the effect of empathy when we talk about. Appreciate you joining us and moderating the content points of this chat. Thank you very, very much to the three of you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the hustle mode on virtually right in here. We will be back with the next session. In the meanwhile, just take a quick look at the platform features, increase your scores out there, visit the partner booths. We will be right back.